Hello students, today we are going to learn third chapter, that is properties of natural resources. In this video we are going to cover the first module, that is properties of air. Natural resources can be defined as the resources that exist on planet independent of human action. These are the resources that are found in the environment and are developed without the intervention of humans. Common examples of natural resources are air, sunlight, water, soil, and stone. Now, student, we will see types of natural resources. Natural resources are divided into two types, that is renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Now, renewable resources are that are available in infinite quantity, means in a bulk quantity which cannot be end and can be used repeatedly, are called renewable resources. Examples of renewable resources are forest, wind, water, etc. Now, non-renewable resources that are limited in abundance means they are present in a limited quantity which can be end due to their non-renewable nature and whose availability may run out in the future are called non-renewable resources. Examples include fossil fuels, minerals, etc. Now, let us see some important natural resources. First is air. Clean air is important for all the plants, animals, humans to survive on this planet. So, it is necessary to take measure to reduce air pollution. Second, water. 70% of what earth is covered in water and only 2% of that is fresh water. Initiative to educate and regulate the use of water should be taken. And the last, soil is composed of various particles and nutrients. It helps plants to grow. So student, in this chapter we are going to deal with properties of these important natural resources. As you all know, we are going to learn about properties of air, properties of soil and properties of water. So, in this module we are going to learn about properties of air. So, let's see an activity based on this. Take a stick from a broom or a paper or plastic straw. Tie a thread at its center and hang it so that it remains horizontal. Tie two rubber balloons of the same size at the two ends of the stick. See to it that the stick remains horizontal. Now remove one balloon, inflate it and tie it again at its original position. Does the stick remains horizontal? The stick goes down on the side of the inflated balloon. This means that air has weight. It is the mixture of gases like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, etc. Therefore, like all other matter, it has mass and weight. Now let us see other activity based on this. Take an injection syringe without the needle, pull its piston and absorb it as you do so. The piston can be pulled out easily. The piston then remains in that position even if you let it go. Now close the inlet hole of the syringe tightly with your thumb. Pull the piston and let it go. Is the force required to pull out the piston more or less than before? So student, yes, the force required is more. So student, atmospheric pressure is defined as the force per unit area exerted against a surface by the weight of the air above the surface. On pulling the piston with the inlet hole of the syringe closed, more space becomes available to the air in the syringe and it becomes rarefied. As a result, the pressure of the air in the syringe is lowered. Comparatively, the pressure of the outside air is very high. That is why, when the pulled out piston is released, it is immediately pushed in. If this experiment is repeated, holding the syringe in different positions like vertical, horizontal, or inclined, piston is found to go in to the same extent in all the cases. So, from this, we can infer that atmospheric pressure is the same in all the directions. Now, student, let us find out, is there any atmospheric pressure on the moon? As we go on the moon, we see that there is no atmospheric pressure. As why moon does not have any atmospheric pressure? Because on the moon there is no atmosphere. Moon is a vacuum. So moon does not have any atmospheric pressure. As you can see, astronaut on the moon, they need to carry a oxygen cylinder for breathing purpose. Do you know? Under ordinary condition, atmospheric pressure at sea level is about 1,01,400 newtons per square meter. It can be measured with the help of a barometer. As students, as we go higher above sea level, atmospheric pressure decreases. So students, let's have a little fun with this activity. Place a piece of cardboard on the mouth of a glass filled completely with water. Holding the cardboard firmly in place with one hand, invert the glass quickly. Take your hand away from the cardboard. What do you see? Air pressure exerted on the card from underneath is greater than the weight of the water inside the glass. This is why the card manages to hold up the water, not letting it spill out. In the year 1726, the Swedish scientist Daniel Bernoulli put forth the important principle that the pressure of air decreases when its velocity increases, while the pressure of air increases when its velocity decreases. So, if a body is moving through air, the air pressure decreases perpendicular to the direction of the motion, and then the air in its surroundings flows rapidly from higher pressure to the lower pressure. Let us see an activity. Take some water in a plastic cup and hold a straw through in it. Hold a small piece of another straw near the upper end of the first straw and perpendicular to that of the straw. Blow hard through the small piece of the straw. You will find a sea fountain of water. Why did this happen? On blowing through the straw, the air at its open end is pushed away and hence the pressure of the air at the opening goes down. As the pressure of the air near the upper end of the erect straw becomes less than atmospheric pressure, the water in the cup is pushed from where the pressure is higher to where it is lower, that is, in the upward direction, and the water comes out in the form of a fountain. The more forcefully you blow, the higher will be the fountain. This straw fountain work on Bernoulli's principle. Students, use your brain power. What is the effect of increased temperature on the pressure of air? Yes, when there exists a difference in the air pressure at two different places, the air starts flowing from the place of higher pressure to the place of lower pressure. At such times, we feel a breeze or a wind blowing. Thus, winds are an effect of the difference in air pressure. You will learn more about this in the lesson called Winds in Geography. Now let's see another activity. Take ice cubes in a glass up to 3/4 of its height. Now observe what happens. Due to the ice cubes in the glass, the air surrounding the glass cools down. As the water vapor in this air cools down, it condenses and gets transferred into water. It is this water that collects on the outer surface of the glass, as you can see. The level of humidity is different in different places. Similarly, the humidity levels also change from time to time during the period of a single day. The level of humidity of air is determined by its capacity to hold water vapor. During the night or at dawn, when the temperature of air is low, its capacity to hold the vapor is less. Such times, the excess vapor is transferred into water droplets. This is what we call as dew. In the afternoon, when the temperature of the air is high, the capacity of the air to hold the moisture also increases. Then, compared to its full capacity to hold water, the proportion of moisture in the air is less and we feel that air is dry. The proportion of water vapor in the air is high during the monsoons and in coastal areas. As a result, we feel the dampness or humidity. This all was about moisture. Let us see one more activity. Take a bottle, empty bottle, dip it in the bucket full of water. What does happen? As you can see, the bottle is empty. It start filling the water into the bottle. As you can see, the bubbles are forming. We come to know from the activity that air has properties like occupying space, having a certain volume, having mass and weight. Air is a fine mixture of some gases, dust, smoke and moisture. As you know, air is a mixture of some gases. When rays of light falls on these minute particles, the particles spread the light in all the directions. This natural phenomena is called scattering of light. Student, let us learn about temperature regulation. The earth receives energy from the sun. This energy is reflected by the earth in the form of heat. As you can see in the image, sunlight passes through the atmosphere and warms the earth's surface. This heat is radiated back toward space. Most of the outgoing heat is absorbed by greenhouse gas molecules and re-emitted in all directions, warming the surface of the earth and the lower atmosphere. The constituents of air surrounding the earth, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, absorb a part of this heat and give back it to the other constituent of air. As a result, the earth's surface remains warm and thereby becomes suitable for the living world on the earth. Now, let us see about transmission of sound. Students, all the sounds that we hear reach us through the surrounding air. The density of air also changes due to the change in its temperature. In winter, the density of the air increases. We can hear the whistle of a distant train clearly early in the morning. In winter, air is useful as a medium for the transmission of sound. So student, in this video we had learned that air has both mass and weight. Atmospheric pressure is defined as the force per unit area exerted against a surface by the weight of the air above the surface. Atmospheric pressure is same in all directions. Winds are an effect of difference in air pressure. Air is useful as a medium for transmission of sound. So student, now I want you to do a small homework into your rough book. What is the importance of air in transmission of sound? How is light scattered by the air? What will happen if the amount of water vapor in the air increases? Why it is said that air is the homogeneous mixture of various gases? So student, today we will stop here. I hope you all understood this module very well. Now in the next video, I am going to explain about second module, that is properties of water of this chapter. So student, if you don't want to miss my next upcoming video, which is very interesting, so please do like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.